All right, welcome back. Today we are stitching day 5 of Stitch Mania, and the wheel chose this pattern. It is called Cat and Poppy. There's your numbers. It's an 11 count, 27 by 37. And we are going to be working right here on the border, just going up and around. This is an 11 count. Uh-oh, what just happened there? Not sure what happened here. A little bit of a snag. I think we're okay though. Still trying to figure out the best way to stitch these videos so you can see what I'm doing. Or I can see what I'm doing and you can see what you're doing. Or, yeah. You can see what I'm doing and I can see what I'm doing at the same time. It's not as easy as one might think, because I'm trying to make sure that you're in frame by looking at my camera and then trying to look down with normal sight to stitch at the same time, and also be able to see what I'm doing. This one's not too bad because this is an 11 count. I can kind of see it from a distance. I can tell what I'm doing. But I was stitching 18 count. If you looked at my other video, it was a little more difficult to see what I was doing. I'm saying that, and now I don't know what I got going on here now. Something. Not sure. This one's got to be pulled like that. These got to be pulled back up. Even. Like that. Alright, disaster averted for now. Again, like I said in my other videos, I have a bad habit of, as you can see, I use a very long piece of thread, way longer than I should use. So tangles and knots, and I don't really get knots too often. It's more usually getting tangled. But I certainly use threads way longer than they should be. what is that saying? Don't try this at home. Everybody stitches differently. Everybody likes their threads a certain length. Everybody likes to stitch in a certain direction. Like I always stitch from the bottom. Give me 1 second. I want to make sure this is getting in the right. Okay. I always go from the bottom left to the top right. As you can see in the bottom left to the top right. And this isn't a good example because I'm going to cross over to this other square over here. So now I'm going from the top right to the bottom left, and then up to the top left to be able to cross back over to the bottom right. And then I'm going to go directly back up to the top right so I can cross this one back over to the bottom right, and then back up to the bottom left to the top right, over to the top left, and then back down to the bottom right and back up to the top left, or bottom left of your leg. No, that may have been a little confusing. It's a little confusing also because of the way I stitch. So if you're stitching normally, like we call it poke and stab, so you're going, let me get you in the middle of the frame, bottom left, to top right, and then because of the way I stitch, I always go top left to bottom right. That way when I come back up, I can just come directly back up into my starting position of my bottom left. And then you start all over again. See, we're in our bottom left. We're going to go to our top right, over to our top right. This is the way I stitch, stitching in hand. It's not for everybody. It actually took me quite a little bit to actually get used to stitching this way. I had attempted to stitch this way, the way I'm stitching now, and I couldn't get used to it, so I switched back to just going up and down, you know, going down and then coming back up, and then going down, and then coming back up. And then I got tired of doing that after a while. I seen more people stitch it in hand. It's so much quicker. You tend to have less arm movement because you're not constantly going up and down from back to front. I mean, you're still moving your arm. It's just in a straight direction from the front instead of having to move your hand from the back of the fabric to the front of the fabric, from the back of the fabric to the front of the fabric. Your needle and thread is always staying on the front side of your fabric. And because of that, as you can see, you can stitch a lot quicker. And again, this method of stitching isn't for everybody. I had to get used to it when I first started trying to learn how to stitch this way. I gave up on it for a little while, and then I came back to it. I do still stitch the traditional way, which is up and down, depending on what project I'm working on. I have larger counted cross stitch pieces that sometimes I will still use in my frames. I generally don't use frames anymore because I stitch in hand. But I do have larger pieces that I will sometimes put in stands. And I will stitch the other way just because they're counted pieces, they're larger pieces. Sometimes just the way the stitching and the design is, it's a little bit easier just to stitch the traditional front to back instead of stitching in hand. So how was everybody's weekend? The weather's finally starting to get nice. I went to my dad's and cooked some stuff on the grill for my dad and my sister. I might actually go there, I don't know, Monday or Tuesday maybe. Put the grill on again. I know I need to go over there and mow my dad's grass for the first time. Got a bunch of weeds and stuff that got to be chopped down. I bought one of those tiny little mini chainsaws. May have seen them on, they were all over TikTok for a while. That's not where I got mine. I got mine at Walmart. I think it was like 50 bucks. I don't need it for anything major. I just need it for like those thick brush plants and weed plants that grow like trees. My dad's yard's been unkempt for a while, so it's gotten a little overgrown. And I wasn't going to be able to get them chopped down without it. I have like a weed whacker, but even that's not gonna, they're just too thick. The weed whacker wouldn't go through it. I apologize for the shaking. This isn't my normal setup. I'm usually in the other room. I wouldn't say my crafting table, although that table is just full of my diamond painting stuff. I've got my model Lego kit scattered on that table. It's a little full at the moment until I can clear some of that stuff off. That's usually where I do my videos. It's not as shaky. I have a sturdier. If I hold this up just like this, you shouldn't shake too much. It's because I keep putting my arm on the table. It's a steady dining room table that I have my other camera clamp on. So even if I'm leaning against the table or my arm's on the table, it doesn't shake as bad. So I do apologize for shaking if I'm shaking too much. If I forgot to mention, this is a partial. So all this white part here, you're not going to stitch. So all the stuff around the flowers and all that stuff won't get stitched. So this is a partial. It is only a 27 by 37. I will link this product down below. Most of these kits you see have come from either AliExpress or VIP Cross Stitch. This one in particular came from VIP Cross Stitch. I'm sure I have a review video out there somewhere when I got these in. With that said, I want to thank everybody for coming to watch my video. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. It's free. I would much appreciate it. And to my returning subscribers, thank for returning and watching my video. Please hit the like button. Feel free to comment. It greatly helps my channel. The YouTube algorithm looks at that stuff and then it'll push my videos out there. So it does help quite a bit. We are up to 334 subscribers. So we're getting up there. I appreciate each and every one of you. I will do a giveaway at some point, probably close to 500 probably, when we're getting to that mark. But I'll let you guys know that in a future video. That's a little bit of ways away. Still 170 subscribers away. Got a little ways to go before we get there. But we can get there. Let's see where we are with thread here. We're going to snip a little bit of this end off. That way I can tell where I am. Sorry about that. Thought you guys were in frame. Almost be it for this video. Once we finish this thread, if I can keep it on the needle for that long. I also tend to run my threads way too small, and then I can't turn my needle around to finish it off. Again, I'll show you how I run my needle under. So for this particular one, because I don't have a lot of thread left, oh, I might be able to. I'm going to go under this one. Then I'm going to go back under, and then I'm just going to run under 1, 2, and if I can get it under that one, 1, 2, and 3. There we go. And then we're going to pull it through. And this will not show to the front side. Where I put these under is actually in the middle where these stitches are. So it's not going to show under this white part that doesn't get stitched. And then we're going to clip this off. And that'll be it for today. So we got from here all the way up and around this way to about right there. So again, I want to thank everybody for joining me. This is the pattern again, and I will see you guys tomorrow.